Hi there. In this episode, we're going to talk about different systems of government and comparing those systems. So, in order to understand why we have systems and forms of government, you need to realize that government is all about power and sharing those powers. There's three different types of powers: legislative power, the power to make laws; executive power, the power to uphold those laws; and judicial power, the courts, to interpret those laws. It's how we organize these three types of powers that we get different government forms and different government systems. The first kind that we're going to look at is a unitary system. This is a system of government where most of the power is located in the central government. In a unitary system, the head of government comes through power either by being a king, through hereditary, or he may be or she be a military leader. So think about monarchies and dictatorships here, but that isn't always the case. Democracies can have a unitary system of government as well. By far, the unitary system of government is the most popular government in the world. Hi there. In this episode, we're going to be comparing systems of government. In order to understand systems and forms of government, you have to realize that all government is about power. And there's basically three different types of power: legislative power, the power to make laws; executive power, the power to uphold those laws; and judicial power, the power of the courts to interpret laws. Now, the differences in different governments is how those powers are shared and organized. The first type of form of government we're going to look at is the unitary system. In this system of government, most of the power is located within the central government. Most of these kinds of governments are headed by somebody who has been gained power through heredity or birth or through military leadership. So think about monarchies and dictatorships. You must realize, though, that you can still have democracy in a unitary system. By far, the unitary system is the most popular system of government in the world. If you look at the map, you'll see that all those blue nations represent unitary systems. Japan is a prime example of a unitary system. It has a strong centralized government, but it is a democracy. They have a legislative branch called the Diet, and in that legislative branch, there's also an executive branch with a prime minister and the ministers of states. In Japan, there are 47 different prefectures, what they call their version of a state. Those states, though, are basically powerless, and they rely on the central government to provide them with tax dollars. The next system of government is a federal system. This is what we have here in the United States. It's a system of government where power is shared between the central and governments and the central government in the different states. Citizens elect legislators. We elect them a president. We have judges too that are elected. Argentina is an example of a federal system. They have a government that has an elected president, a Congress, and a Supreme Court. They also have their own version of states, which they call provinces. So they are very similar to our federal system. The next type of government is a parliamentary system. This is a system of government where power lies with the legislative body, and the leader of the country is part of that legislature. So with this, citizens don't really elect political leaders. It's not a focus on the person, it's a focus on the political party. And with those types of elections, you're not really voting for Barack Obama or, some other candidate. You are voting for the political party. And it's once those political parties have been established, they set up what are called platforms, what that political party stands for. So you are looking more at a series of ideas and voting on those ideas instead of on people. Once the party has won, then the party itself puts people into roles within the government. New Zealand is a prime example of one of those parliamentary systems. It has a legislature with a prime minister, and people there vote for the political party, and then the political party itself appoints people as prime minister and the prime minister's cabinet. Next is a confederal system. This is a system of government where power is located in the states and there's very little power in the central government. This was what the Confederacy had here in America during the Civil War. You still elect legislators, an executive president, you have judges through direct elections, but the central government is very, very weak. The states keep all the power. The European Union is another example of this confederation. The European Union, we have all these countries across Europe, 27 of them, and they, through treaties, have decided to voluntarily agree to be members, and the EU itself doesn't have a lot of power. It's just coming together to make trade easier, to make it easier for people to move from one nation to another. But it is an example of that confederal system. Okay, that's it for now.